All right, we're back. I hope. I mean, we're back. I just don't know if it's gonna be connected to the other podcast, to the first segment of this. So annoying. Um, and I had where I had left. I had in my head where I had left off, and I was talking about. Oh, I was gonna bring up Caitlin Butts. I'm talking about music, talking about harmonies and how they're important. And I was talking about music in the sense of harmonies. Music has been for me, and the music never stops. Copyright and all that good stuff. Um, and what I was going to look up as this connection got lost. So I can't remember if I talked about it on. So I definitely tweeted about it. I shared it. Let me find out. I'm trying to find out. Yeah, I was gaining followers on Twitter, then I started losing followers on Twitter. I was like, I don't know, I lost a few. Push pop back down. And I want to close out with that. Where is this? What was last week? It's like the 9th, 20 first. Maybe I did talk about it already. No, I guess I did. Well, anywho, Caitlin, I guess I can just mention it again as far as Caitlin Butts and her song. Actually, let me just use Instagram because this is annoying. I'm sorry, I apologize because this was not according to plan. I'll blame myself because I need to figure out this internet thing, but it's like I'm not going to pre-record it either. Music I like. When did the song come out? That's that one. 2 weeks ago. 3 days ago. So yeah. So Caitlin Butts released a song called "It Won't Always Be This Way." I'm hearing an acoustic version of it, and I was like, man, it's a very deep song. It's a very very deep song. And see, like right now would be a great time for me to play it, piece by piece, and we can kind of go over it, and I'll give you my opinion, then we'll get out of here. But that's not the case, because then YouTube will flag us, and then we'll just be where we started. So what I like the most about it is probably the fact that she did a full band. It's a full band piece. I was wondering because in the not obviously, but in the YouTube video I've seen of her singing that song when she wrote. When she wrote it was she. It was acoustic. It was her and I think her guitar player, but on the recording, whoever was doing the audio engineering did a poor job as far as, at least from my memory, didn't do the best job of incorporating the guitar sound in the song. Nonetheless, great song, great lyric, very deep, a lot of deep lyrics, and a lot of good feedback. I follow her on Twitter now. I hadn't before, just because I hadn't really kept up with her much. But after that song, I was like, okay, I started going through the repertoire, and Blood's probably my favorite song from her writing so far. That's when I was. I think that's why I was talking about her last time. She had that song Blood, so I was binging her stuff 2 weeks ago, and then she released this song now, and so it's a great song. It's awesome. Like I said, I can't reiterate enough how like just deep it is. Like, oh man, if it's a true story about her, because I can't remember if it's a true story about her or not, but um, if it is, I mean, it's a dark song, that a person has to go through, and life life happens, but just because life happens doesn't mean it should happen bad to you. That's just kind of what I take from songs like that. Like, man, it's unfortunate that things like that happen to people because they do. Um, but that's also one of my things about bringing this podcast. Like, yes, it's a very serious podcast. I was talking to my cousin earlier today, and he's like, but your podcast. I was like, man, I wish he would come on with me so we could just have a conversation. And not even a conversation. He's like, but have a conversation about fun things and lighthearted things because he's hilarious for one, and there's just other things that we can talk about to keep the mood light. Majority of the time. He's like, oh, bro, but you're always so serious. Like, yeah. He's like, I don't want to do podcasts with you. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, you're right, and I know I always revert to like the seriousness and being serious because at the end of the day, it's like, well, yeah, like this is moving with life. Moving with life is learning and growing and appreciating what we have, right? And that song, to go back to the point of Caitlin Butts in the song, it won't always be this way. It's a very deep song. It's like, man, Like whether it happened to her or someone she knows, she wrote the song. Um, Very compelling lyric, and so that was Friday as well, technically, because that's talking about Friday. Uh, where was I gonna? I'm trying to think of where I was gonna go with all this because I can't remember. I'm almost done. I mean, I was literally almost done too. Like I was getting ready to close out. Like I was minutes away from. I don't know because we did probably what 14, 15 minutes. I think we were getting to the 15-minute mark. So 15 more minutes and we would have been done. So now it's like trying to retract, get my rhythm back because I feel like I was on a decent rhythm. And I know what I'm gonna finish today's conversation on. So once we get there, we'll get there. Trying to make sure that there's nothing else. Oh, today, speaking of me and my cousin, so we were hanging. This is where the conversation kind of came up, as far as what. Um, so we had a conversation about podcasting and whatnot, and how I can, it would be nice to have a producer esque person here with me. Maybe not necessarily always in the chair next to me, um, and not necessarily even running like the stuff, but someone that I can throw an idea to if I have it. That's one thing I like about I think the majority of these guys that I've learned from, um, mostly comedians, with the exception of like Chris D'Elia and like Bill Burr, where they do rant for 20, or sorry, not 20 minutes. They rant for an hour and then they close it out themselves. And there's been instances where like I flow really well, and it's fine. But then there are moments where it would be nice just to have so I can spit out, riff an idea, and then we can move on. Because Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, they have Two Birds One Cave, and they throw back with Nadav and I forgot I think Annie's the guy's name. Um, Anyways, I got sidetracked again. So me and my cousin were at Peter Piper, and we're about done eating, and it was nice going and we had buffet pizza. It was delicious, and we got there at the beginning of the buffet, so it was nice and fresh. I feel like it was nice and fresh, even though obviously they're constantly bringing out fresh pizzas. But we were about done. I was definitely about done, and we were mingling, but then we were still finishing our meals as well. And I see this black car. It's a Ford Flex that comes up and drives in. I just because we were sitting at like the window, so I just noticed the vehicle turning in, and so I noticed. I'm like, okay, well, I think nothing of it. So then it turns into a handicap spot. Well, this is a thing where I was like, I thought I left this behind because I saw this a lot on the West Coast, and it annoyed me. Where people at least don't fix their parking. Fine, you overestimate or you underestimate. You turn too sharply into the parking spot, or whatever. I have several pictures that I have in my portfolio of people who can't park their vehicles. And the crazy thing is, like, it's one thing. Like I remember hearing a lot of jokes and a lot of just jabs at people who drive trucks. Like, oh, if you can't park your truck, you shouldn't be driving a truck. My man, probably 90% of the cars that I've seen that can't park are Nissan Sentras, that Ford Flex today, Toyota Corollas, like tiny cars. Let me make sure this is oh shoot. Well, I know you can still hear me, but it's not the same. Anyways, this is annoying. So I need to figure this out. I don't have to figure it out because this is not fair to you. Um, Not fair to just the flow of a conversation. Um, and now this thing doesn't even want to catch the microphone. Okay, well, I'm going to try my best to finish this point. The majority of the cars that I've seen not know how to park are smaller vehicles, to include this Ford Flex. And the joke I was actually going to make when he first pulled in, like, oh, I wonder if Fluffy's in there, because Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, has or had a Force Flex, and they custom, instead of putting Flex, they put Fluffy up on top. So they did those custom letters for him, and I remember that being a thing. And so it's hilarious. It was good. It was hilarious. And so that was the first thing I thought. I'm like, oh, that'd be funny if Fluffy came out of there. But then I saw the way he parked, and I was like, this mother. And I was like, I got upset really fast, and I was like, bro, like, you tell me you can't park, like and you're not gonna fix it, like, because the gentleman got off right away, and then this is where we really lost it. So we lost it when the lady then comes out and she has her thing of wipes here. She's carrying like her thing of like sanitation wipes. And I was like, kudos to her for having her own wipes, but I was not expecting that. I think that's why me and we were just start crying. I'm like, oh, bro, over here, like, and it again, I don't think I wasn't cackling at the matter of fact. I was just like, oh wow, like she bought a whole ass thing of wipes, sanitation wipes. And I was just laughing and cackling and that kind of lying the whole thing. I'm like, oh my god, these people can't park, but hey, they can't park, but hey, you got your wipes. That's good. You're not gonna get COVID's gonna try to stay away from you today. Okay, the COVID and the flu and everything else is gonna try to stay away from you today. So they can't park. They cannot park, but they got their wipes, so it's okay. You know what? It's okay that they can't park. It's okay that the husband can't park because the wife got the wipes. Man, we were dying, and it was hilarious. So yeah, so that was our day today. We had lunch, and then he's off. He went off to work shortly after. That was the Monday that led to this, and then I started trying to reconfigure the lights, and then this wasn't working out the way I intended to, and I'm trying to make this room as compatible is not the word I'm looking for right now. I'll probably think about it later. I don't know why the word affordable. It's not affordable or attainable. I think accessible. I'm trying to make this room more podcast accessible. It's not quite. The room's not quite there yet. I have space now where I can do this, and I can bring guests on now. But there's still something not quite there, and so that's how we got to here right now. I'm still having technical difficulties. This is going on. At least I got my internet back, but now my microphone is not working. It's on, but now Ecamm's not letting me draw in, which I can do this real quick. So anyway, I just, it's interesting going through, and I'm gonna leave these up because this. I mean, it's not that it'll make. I mean, it could make for good content later. But besides that, it reminds me, especially in real, because this is in real time. I'm recording. My microphones aren't working the way I want them to, and so you can hear the room. You can probably hear the fan too. Yeah, you can definitely hear the fan too. Let me see if this will work. Check. Well, you can barely hear it because I'm using this one now. You can hear me from that microphone, but it doesn't seem like it's loud enough. Raise this up, and you can catch all the fan. And so I don't know which one sounds better. Definitely not. No, H6 not even working. On the computer. You know, going through these small issues, it's more of a reminder for me. Say, hey, don't be procrastinating. Make sure this stuff's ready um, prior to recording, so that we don't have incident. And I think this is like the second or third day that this happened because, well, technically it's day three. Because with Matt, with Matt Rodriguez, the mic wasn't working, and now it's not working like at all. Um, and then and thinking I solved it by connecting the H6 Zoom, my recorder. Um, I realized. Oh, no, back. See, I got this back going. Okay, all this in real time. Hopefully, again, these are. I feel like they're bigger learning markers for me, but but also I know it's gonna be okay. But I need to address it so again this doesn't happen the next time. Because even right now I'm running USB to the straight to the computer, which is fine. That's how I know, because when I'm by myself, it actually works a little bit better. But because of the way I have it set up, it's like, well, now this cord's in the way, and I didn't even know it was gonna be long enough. It is, thank God, it's long enough. But nonetheless, it's like, okay, I need to figure this out for next time. And the internet had been doing pretty decent. That's why it's kind of upsetting that this is for the internet. This is like the second day that it's messed up. I think I messed up with Matt through Rod that first time, but then with Matt, my cousin, it was fine. So I was like, what the heck's going on? But nonetheless, last story. We're gonna go over to the screen real quick. So these guys, these Marines, they were killed in an Osprey crash in Norway. I'm reading it off the screen, but the United States Marine Corps has identified the four Marines killed in the MV-22 Osprey crash in Norway. I believe the crash happened on like last Thursday or Friday. So there's the first two guys. I'm trying to see here. Okay, I think this is the day that they announced it. Breaking the joint rescue. This was 3 days ago. So yeah, that's what I told my cousin. So the 18th, 19th was when it was initially the crash was reported, but they hadn't confirmed the status of the four service members. It's just the crash had happened, period. And so then finally, I hadn't actually seen this picture. So this was, I guess, by last night. Yeah, by last night, so Sunday night, they had identified the four Marines that were killed, and so Captain, I'm gonna mess up this last name. Captain Matthew Tomkiewicz of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Captain Ross Reynolds of Minster, Massachusetts. Gunner Sergeant James Speedy of Cambridge, Ohio, and Corporal Jacob Moore of Cattlesburg, Kentucky. So to tie in everything today, to tie in the problems that happen and the things that they're not life threatening, but problems happen. I'm trying to make sure this thing's still working. And seeing the seeing the names today, because I follow Northern Provisions. They post constantly, updates, and they always say take it with a grain of salt. Like, this is just what I'm hearing. This is just the chatter that I see. But nonetheless, they keep us, I say us, the followers, up to date on situations like this. Especially when in this case with the four Marines that passed away that didn't make it through the crash.
And we get caught up in the things that make us upset. And the good thing is that for the most part, if it makes us upset, that means we care about that thing or person or whatever we're trying to accomplish. When we don't get it or when we can't do what we want in a certain situation, it's because we care. So it's like we want to get shit done. Good. That's I think that's a good thing for all of us. But I think to close out today, and we can use these last minutes. I think I'm over the 30-minute mark now, but we can use this time to reflect and just take things back a little bit and appreciate what we do have and the people we have and the things we can do and the things that we have. And that's my personal balance. That it keeps me in check when I see stuff like this. When I see events happen, and then a few days later they can release the names of those who passed. It's like when back in August that Afghanistan pull out, and then the 13 service members, just so I can cover the scope of Navy, Army, and Marine Corps. Things I've been able to see in trauma medicine, emergency medicine, seeing these warriors not make it back home, it's become a lot easier for me to just say, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like I do get upset, like the freaking person can't park. It definitely bothers me for a second, but it doesn't bother me to ruin my day. It's just I brought it today to tell a funny story. I'll try to tell a funny story. I'm trying to work on telling funny stories, lighthearted stories. Like I said that before. Trying to bring lighthearted segments to the podcast. Not everything's serious all the time. But we can again just take the rest of the evening to reflect and I'm like, I don't getting ready for the next day isn't the right verb or right phrase I want to use. But it's just like, hey, we can not get mad for a second, because again, these four gentlemen, they'll never see their families again. Their families will never see them again. They weren't. I mean, it's not like they were home. They were in Norway doing this NATO joint exercise, and so we can just take a step back, take a drink of water, enjoy. If we can even go as far as call those people who we care about. Text them, send them a text. Easy day. Send them a text. It's like, hey, I'm glad you're around. I'm glad you're in my life. Simple stuff. Simple stuff. And that's why I feel like I'm able to retract myself rather quickly, because like, hey, this is not life or death. I like what I do. I want it to be good. I'm trying to improve my process. I'm trying to improve what I talk about. But when it comes to events like this, it's easy. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it for as long as I'm able. As long as I'm able to talk about these events, because for whatever it's worth, from my point of view, it's like, hey, this event happened. These 4 men lost their lives. Their families are mourning them right now as we speak, and their loved ones will never have them back. That's why, my cousin makes a great point. Like, you're always so deep. It's like, I know, I can't help it. And a weekend, like I knew about this since it happened. But again, because of Northern Provisions, they posted it like Thursday night or Friday sometime when they posted it, and so I knew about it, and he's like, oh, how did you know? How did you know? I'm like, oh, because I follow these guys and they post about it. And today just happens to be the release of the names, but doesn't mean the accident happened today. They normally doesn't happen like that. But nonetheless, I went a little past time, but it's okay. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for dealing with my technical difficulties. I need to figure out the microphone situation. Excuse me, I'm burping. I ate a bunch of pineapple today. I can feel it. That's what I can. That's what I can taste. It's nasty, but that's what I can taste when I'm burping right now. But yeah, hopefully y'all have a good rest of your week. We'll see what happens as this week. We'll see what happens as this week goes. As we go through this week. I mean it as far as me, doing a third episode or not. Debrief Friday only. What am I gonna do? Make sure I have all my stuff situated. So there are no more technical difficulties. Working on the lighting. I have a couple lights that it's easy to kind of adjust and make it better on the with the camera itself, and then on the computer. But the lighting could still be better, and that's one thing I want to try and work on. So, anyways, take care of yourself mentally and physically. I feel like I could keep talking. But it's with a heavier heart, and it's like, okay, I want to close out today, and we'll pick things up again another day. And I don't want to tap the well. I also don't want to tap the well. So take care of yourself mentally and physically. Lead from the front if you have a team, if you have an organization, if you have a people under you for any circumstance. Enjoy the company of others. Tell your family and friends that you appreciate them, that you love them. Go out for an extra walk. Get out and get some sun. I've been getting a little more sun. Let me see if I can show here. Yeah, you can see the line right there. So I've been trying to get some more sun too. I made some burgers yesterday, the other day, Saturday. I made some burgers Saturday. So I was out there and got that done. And if you haven't talked to those people that you appreciate, again, easy day. Send them a text real quick. Say, hey, I love you. Hope you're having a good day. That's it. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of the week brings. And if I don't see you till Friday, enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully, we can all be a little more productive this week. That's definitely one of my goals, and to include all my technical difficulties here. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I got. I'm not even gonna try to turn up. I'm not gonna try to do the music situation right now. I'm just gonna get out. 'Cause I think we're at like almost 45 minutes. So yeah, definitely get out here. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. Y'all have a good night. Yeah, we'll see you very soon.